Welcome to the D&D Fitness Radio Podcast, brought to you by your hosts, Don Saladino from New York City and Derek Hansen from Vancouver, Canada. In episode 10, we speak with actor Drew Powell from the television series Gotham.
Drew and I got to work out earlier, and when we got on the treadmill, we got onto an interesting conversation. And it's been great to become really, I've worked with a lot of people who are on the big stage, and I've become friends with all of them. I mean, I consider Drew one of my really close friends right now. I truly love him, and we just have a good time together every day. But it's been fun for me through the time I've known him to kind of see his career, starting to take off and things starting to happen and really go in a good direction. And, I think the question I always ask when someone's coming into me is, what are you trying to do? It's like, what is your goal? Because you know what? Not everyone, and we saw this with Dave Harbour, wants to look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club, nor would it benefit them from looking that way.
Well, that's it.
Nor would it benefit them. And you and I, Derek, got in the conversation of Chris Pratt, I think a week or so ago, and it was interesting because Chris started with a certain body type in his career. And if you told me then that Chris was going to, lose all this weight, and then is that going to help his career? And I'd say probably not, but it actually did. And you and I got on the conversation, not to jump around a little bit, but you just got to be you, right? I mean, what's your viewpoint? I mean, we've been coming in here and we've been focusing on just making you feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Look, what we talked about before in the video that we posted the other day was only after I met you and we started this process did I realize fully that my job as an actor is directly related to my body. And so I need to take care of my body to do my job to its best ability. Now, that means sometimes I need to be a little overweight for a role. Sometimes maybe I need to lose weight. But most of the time, I'm going to be what I'm going to be. And that's what they're casting.
Right.
So, you go into an audition, they're seeing you. Yeah, okay, maybe they could imagine in 4 weeks' time you could lose 10 pounds. But ultimately, this is what you've got to work with. So take care of it, feel good, and it was such an epiphany. You would think that would be common sense. But I think as an actor, you're so worried about all these different little things that you forget the simplest stuff, which is take care of this in here, with meditation or whatever it is, and self-care. But take care of the body too. And I've always been a big guy. So,
you said it today, though. You said this is finally, he said the line I've been waiting for him to say for the last year or whatever it is, 2 years, or however long we've been hanging out. But he said, this is my therapy. And I remember that was a line. Tone, my workout partner, Tone, who a lot of people who follow us on social know Tone. But Tone said to me about 15 years ago, said it a little bit differently. He said, this is part of my survival. And I kind of related to that really well, because the thing I do like about the earlier morning workouts like we had today is, man, I'm done. I had my 1 hour hour today, and now I am ready. My energy's different. I'm ready to attack. But I think you said, I think you just said it. You stop trying to be something that you're not, in the sense that a lot of people out there, when they reach out to me or they kind of stress what they're trying to do with their bodies, you're not going to take it. You are a football player built like you are a strong build. Like that's your build. You're never going to be built.
I got the pony keg, not the six.
That's happening. That we are. It's cheap, but his body looks different every day, and it's fun. And I just think that if we could just de-stress a little bit when we're talking about people and their expectations of what they're trying to do, you're not going to take a guy who's clocked at a 4.840 and make him run a 4.2. There's just some things that you're not going to do. Like, either have it or you don't have it. I think people need to really be, they need to be honest with themselves. I think they need to maybe talk to some people around them and or some fitness professional and say, what do you think? What can I do with my body realistically? Yeah. And it's like, all right, man, based off of how you want to live your lifestyle, and based off of the fact that you're not willing to give up alcohol, and based off of this, and that, I think we can realistically do that.
Yep.
Now, if you're Christian Bale getting ready for a movie and you got to lose 50, 60 pounds, you're dealing with a different human being here who's got that mental capacity. We talked about, Jake Gyllenhaal, I believe, could do something like that. Some guys are just wired a certain way where if they have to jump into a specific role and lose 50, 60 pounds, Joaquin Phoenix, I saw him do something recently. Yeah. So certain guys have it, certain guys don't, but I think expectations are really important.
Absolutely. And it helps to be set up. You talk about Chris Pratt. Well, he got the role for Guardians and then had this, this conduit, this thing to help him get in shape. Now, he still had to do the work, and he had to do the meal plans and all that stuff. And, he's been pretty honest on social media about that. And I always appreciated that. For me, I've wanted to do this forever, but it took them saying, hey, in 7 weeks, you're going to be you're going to be climbing out of the swamp naked.
That was really your picture. Yeah, but that was really,
I know.
That's really when it changed because you and I sat, I'm like, listen, dude, this is because I didn't know at that time I was getting to know you, but I didn't know you like I know you now. So it was one of those things where I was just like, this is your job now. Like it's not like you're trying to get ready for the beach to go to Miami to pick up girls. Like, no, this is your livelihood. And I remember trying to get in your head a little bit, like, this is going to dictate your family and this and that. I'm just trying to find those emotional grabbers.
True.
But you went and you did it. And I remember for that, what was it, 6 weeks, 7 weeks?
Yeah.
7 weeks, you absolutely crushed it. And then to see him walk out of that pond, Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, it's like that for me, that's satisfying. And that's why I love working with people in your position because it's a project. It's like, I don't, and I'll say this honestly, Derek, I don't enjoy working with, the average, and this might come off wrong, but I'm going to say it anyway. A lot of times working with the average person who's just going through the motions, for me, it's not stimulating. I do what I do, not because I started working as a coach not to become a multimillionaire. I mean, I'd like to, naturally, right? And things are going pretty well, but I did what I did because I like being motivated inspired by people. And I like going in and I like seeing someone make that change and take that step to the next level and watching their demeanor change and their mood change. For me, that was like, what a great feeling. So a lot of times when I get to work with people who are getting ready for a project, that's a gift for me because I can see a process from start to finish and we get an opportunity to push.
Yeah. Sorry. No, go ahead. This is for both of you, but I will say I posted this yesterday as a joke, but it was also true. Like until I came in here, I hated trainers because the trainers that I had always seen in the past were those guys who like kind of trying to look cool around the gym and like,
like Derek.
Yeah. Try and every trainer, it was so funny. Every trainer I'd ever met was like, always like hitting on the women, like giving them their cell phone number, all this stuff. So I had a bad taste in my mouth about what a trainer was. And then I came in here and it was such a good experience. And what I realized is that trainer like you guys, the trainers that are good, it's a holistic approach. First of all, the ego is out the door. Second of all, they take a look at what you need and then they work it from a holistic level. It's not just, I need you to do this, bench and squat and curl. It's like, okay, there's a plan. And it's a plan based on who you are in your life. And, because you asked a lot of questions before we even started.
Right.
And I appreciated that because it was like, it's not one size fits all, and I've always loved it. For example, I had shoulder issues. So when I was working with Tiago early, like you made sure that we were always
cognizant directly overhead and doing
all that stuff. So, that totally changed my opinion on what a trainer can do for you. So
no, I totally appreciate that. And Derek, I mean, it's got to be similar for you also. I mean, you're working with athletes trying to optimize a tenth of a second. Think about that. I mean, we're trying to like our progress is obvious. It's like you turn around from week 1 to week 7. It was obvious when you took your shirt off. Like working with a lot of these actors, it's obvious. But turning around, if you saw an athlete sprint on tape before and after, a coach like yourself is going to be able to pick up on technique. But 99.99% of the population isn't going to have a clue whether they improved or not. But you're going to look at him and say, wow, look at how high he's bringing his arm down and how far he's bringing it back. And look how he's driving his knee more vertical and more down into the ground. He's using the earth more. And like, there's so many different, look how he's improved his time by a tenth of a second. Most people say, what the hell is a tenth of a second? How's that improvement? That's like, in our world, that's like dropping 20 pounds. It's like, right? I mean,
well, no, it's money. Think about it. The difference between a 4.540 and a 4.4540 is money in their pocket, right? I mean, it seems like it is.
They call it the dash for cash, right? So, and that's the thing. Like, I just came from the NFL Combine, and I was hanging around a couple of guys who are 300-pounders, but they're running under 5 seconds. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's 6'5", 300+ pounds. Hit by that guy. Yeah, I'm like,
talk about a locomotive.
One of the guys gave me a hug, and I disappeared, right? So that there's that part, and then the other part is like I liken what you're doing is you're like because I work with like some MMA fighters, right, and some boxers, and you got to find your optimal weight, your fighting weight, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes a guy has to move up, but sometimes they have to move down. But there's always going to be a sweet spot, right? And when I think of actors, like we were talking about this, like Jonah Hill or the guy from Seinfeld, Wayne Knight. The guy played Newman, like he dropped pounds. And I'm like, I didn't even recognize the guy. So I think he lost work, right? So maybe there is a sweet spot for you, right? Can you comment on that?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think there is a sweet spot, and I think it's also knowing yourself. I know that if I had to get in shape for a movie, and I could do that, but I couldn't live at that level. Like, I know that we're getting in shape. We're getting to a place where I feel comfortable, but it's also a feel thing. One of the other things I love is that it was always about scales for me. How many pounds have I lost? And one of the first things you said is don't ever get on that scale. I remember one time Tone caught me in the locker room standing on the scale. He said, get off the scale.
That's exactly how he said it.
Get off the scale. And it's true because all the differences, all the gains, everything that I felt when I put on my clothes. I put on a suit the other day that I hadn't worn, since before we met, and it felt different. It was like, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Weight-wise, I don't even know, because it's all a different, everything's moving around. But there is a certain, I do think there's a fighting weight. I think there's a place where I'm going to be, in my career, that's going to work for me.
This is my prediction. My prediction is this. I think over a period of time, because we're going to be changing so much, your body, training so much, your body's going to be making this slow change, and you're not even going to know. Yeah. And my prediction is this. There's going to be an evolution. I bet you're going to look at yourself like 5 years from now and look back and be like, oh shit. And like, no one's even really going to know. Yeah. And that's what's kind of cool about it. Like Blake Lively just did some incredible press for me recently. I mean, the woman is unbelievable, and just all out of love. I mean, I can't say a better thing about her, but what I respected about what she said wasn't the 61 pounds she lost lost after giving birth. It was the fact that she admitted it took her 14 months. Yeah. And it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
And, fine. And I didn't have a problem with me. No, it wasn't easy. Did she struggle? Sure, she struggled a little bit, like most women out there do, or most guys out there do. And there's just some things just most human beings do. And I think we have to do a better job as fitness professionals, as just people. We're showing all the positive stuff on social media, and we're showing all the, all the success stories. And I know it's motivating, but it can also really be people. I had a woman recently reach out to me, and she's like, you know what? I want to start your tone-up workout, but, it's really making me feel a little bit inferior.
Mm.
And so I responded to her, and I was like, okay. And she's like, well, it's because I'm looking at all these beautiful models. And be perfectly honest, when I did respond, because I told you I did respond to her, I said, I apologize for that. It's not my intention. I said, but the models I'm using are friends, and they know how to perform the movements. And that's really my main outlook on it. It's not because I'm going to put pretty women on for pretty women to look like. If I was trying to attract guys for that workout, it's a different story. I could see how you can criticize me, but these women I've been using just know the movements really well. But I can understand how that can make someone feel really, really crappy. And I think we have to do a better job in life about just showing people, you know what? Yeah, here's a selfie. I don't look good this morning. Or I was joking around the other day with my eye. I got this big infection on my eye. And you know what? I couldn't sit there and obsess about it. All I can do, because it's my personality, is make fun of it.
Yeah, right.
And that's I have a big zit in my head today. Look, right there. And it's like, that's life. What are you going to do? But we're not perfect. It gets annoying to me sometimes when I go online and I see these guys, and they're just, it's ab shot. I'm like, all right, mix it in once in a while. I get it. You have it. But let's focus on other things. things, you know.
And I've got a lot of response on social media since we started this from people that are like, it's inspiring to me because, you know, they can tell, like, I'm a guy from the Midwest, man. I'm meat and potatoes. You know, I'm not all protein shakes and measuring out my stuff. Like, it's been a chore for me to get to this point. And it's all about the nutrition for me. You know, I've been doing this thing with Epicure like the last 4 weeks, and that's been really eye-opening for me to try this, you know, because food is always the hard part for me. Always has been my whole life.
But you've been noticing also certain things with you. You even said inflammation in your body. You're like, things are starting to change. That's how the process should be. It's always a red flag for me, Derek, when I see change happening so fast. I'm always like, listen, it's like I've got that woman right now I'm working with who is 872 pounds. She weighed in last week at 435. She's at 436 this week because she has her monthly friend. So that means she's going to deal with some water retention. But, you know, she's been losing 1 pound to 2 pounds a week, which is a lot for anyone. We could speed that process up, but I'm not going to. You know, she's got to lose weight at a little bit of a quicker rate. But what I'm trying to do is I told her, I said, listen, this is going to take us years. You know, to get us down, but let's just enjoy the process. Let's not obsess over it. Let's understand. And like today was like her post this week was like the culmination. Like she's arrived, because if you look at her post, she says, I'm 436 this week instead of 435. I gained 0.8 of a pound, and it's all good. It's because of this, and I'm feeling really good. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Whereas 6-7 weeks ago, she'd be calling me up like, I'm gaining weight, it's going in the other direction. I'm like, no, you don't understand how the body works. It's okay. Like, we're going to get some fluctuation. So again, I'm talking about this so much and so passionately because if we can get people to think this way, honestly, not to sound corny, but the world's going to be a better place. People are going to stress less.
Don't you think? Like I was going to ask Drew, like what he did as a child, because like I know physical education in the schools is a problem because they glorify like go run around the school, like aerobic stuff, like even my own kids, right? Go run, but they don't really glorify like strength or, you know, those type of things. And for some of the bigger kids, that would be nice if they had a more well-rounded physical education when they're younger, right?
I've never thought about that, but that's true. I mean, I don't even know what kids are doing for physical education these days. I mean, I know my son's in first grade and here in New York public schools, and they go out on the blacktop and, you know, they do some things, but it's not, you know, certainly when I was in school, I was doing what they were doing in the 50s. They didn't change from the 50s to the freaking 90s. From what I could tell, you know, we were still like, all right, jump rope. Now we're going to square dance.
I think it really, you know what, I think it's like anything else. It's like, you know, who are you? You know, I started this facility and I put so much in the beginning onto making it aesthetically look beautiful and making sure I had the equipment that I want. And then realizing pretty quickly that it's not about the field you build, it's about the team you put on the field. And, you know, after I realized that at a very, very early on, things started clicking for me. At my kid's elementary school right now, there is I don't exactly know his title, PE teacher. He runs all the physical education for the school, Joe Toscano. And he was the guy actually who helped get me started with weight training. I worked out at Wall Street Gym when I was 16. He was my baseball coach actually before that when I was 14. I remember him taking a job at Wall Street Gym at 16. And I remember him helping me out with weights. And then I walk into church on Sunday. This is actually cool. And I sit down in one of the pews and I'm at a later mass than I normally am. And I didn't realize it, but him and his family walk behind me and I hear them whispering like, or he's saying it loud enough to where that's the guy in the cover of Muscle and Fitness. And I feel him start digging me in my back, and I turn around, and I saw him, and we kind of gave each other a little pound. But he's the one helping my children out now, and I feel really good about that because when I go in and I've been in there a couple of days to check out what's going on and to see the stuff he's doing is really great. But what upsets me is that the school's only giving them, you know, a day or two a week at an hour clip. I'm like, all right, so these kids got to go sit in the desk for 7-8 hours a day, but they get, you know, two 45-minute sessions of activity. Like, is this the example we really need to be setting? You know, is this you know, it's not his fault. I mean, I'm sure he'd want to be doing something with, in my opinion, I think the kids should be, you know, they should have a phys ed class every day. Every day, get them out of the desk for 45 minutes, let them run around, let them throw med balls, you know, let them carry some sandbags. let him sprint, let him jump, right, Derek? I mean, I'm not saying you have to be Derek Hansen as a coach. It'd be nice to have access to that, but get him moving the right way.
Yeah, like I mean, I've seen you guys work out, and it looks like you have a great time. What do you guys do, and what do you prioritize? And Drew, what do you like, and what do you kind of go, oh, I got to do that now?
Actually, I'm gonna let you answer this.
Well, it's funny because when I started with Tiago mostly, and we would do the one-on-ones, and then eventually, once we got to that 7-week period, you know, and Don was always involved, but then, you know, I see those guys doing the gym mafia stuff. I'm like, oh man, no, I couldn't. I'm not giving in on that. He's like, come on, just join us. I'm like, oh, no, yeah, maybe a couple weeks. And then finally, once I joined in with them, I realized, no, this is actually great, because it felt like I was back, you know, on a team again, like I was in high school, college, a sports team. Like we have camaraderie, we help each other out, and so I just walk in and you know, I don't know what the hell's going on. I just do what everybody's doing, and I really like that, because I can be like, okay, and Don mixes it up a lot, which I also like. You know, we'll do full body stuff, and then we'll do body parts, and then it's all this different stuff, which I find is really good for my body, because it's like I'm doing different stuff all the time. Definitely have my favorites and my least favorites. Like,
you love benching.
Oh,
he loves benching.
I love benching. Any upper body stuff, man, bring it.
He loves benching.
But then we get to the lower body stuff, and that's the stuff I never worked on, you know, on my own.
But say what you said today. We're noticing, and what we really do, Derek, is we commit to like blocks of training. So my blocks of training are roughly anywhere from 4 to 16 weeks, depending on what phase I'm diving into. If it's more of a powerlifting phase, might be 16 weeks. You know, because we need more time, and we're normally, if we're periodizing, whatever it is, we'll do kettlebell workouts, which are 4 weeks. You know, that's a little bit. You know, right now we're really doing a full body, more what's the word? Not volume, but frequency. So we're doing full bodies every day. Yeah. You know, and we're doing it, but we're really fluctuating the volume and the intensity. And what we noticed on this program right now with Drew is that we're putting so much emphasis, you know, on his lower body, which I prefer to do, but we have him, you know, kettlebell squats and goblet squats and, you know, get-ups and specific movements and getting him to deadlifting and jumping, and, you know, he's doing pull-ups now. Like, you know, like, wow, we've got him at how heavy are you?
Probably 270.
See, he doesn't even know, which I love. He's the same, probably 270. So we have him up there working on pull-ups now, working on creating tension in the body, and, you know, and we're getting stronger and stronger at that. So,
but you said today, which I never considered, he's like, you think because my bench and my incline has been so good that's directly related to.
I truly believe, because I saw recently, Derek, that his squat, his hinge is looking so much better. His hips have opened up so much more. He's got better positioning with his lumbar spine, with his upper back. There's no collapsing. Everything looks good. And as I saw that get better, I saw everything else just take off. And it was like everything else was kind of stopped, and suddenly that improved, and he's able to handle the frequency, and he's not like sore, and he's not dying as much anymore. And now it's just everything's kind of just getting stronger.
I'm a believer now. I was the ultimate no leg guy. I was the guy like, well, I'm top heavy anyway, so my legs get a workout every day when I'm walking around. I don't even do those legs. And so I was that guy, like the chest only guy, no leg days. And now I'm a convert. Like, I get it now. I see why it's important.
The training has to, this is the advice I give to most people who are out there for, you know, general fitness is, you know, have some purpose to what you're doing, obviously. Make sure you're executing the movements perfectly. I don't believe that we should ever really get sloppy. But have fun. And, you know, we had, you know, one guy who's joined our group recently, George Paros, who won a Stanley Cup with at the Anaheim Ducks back in 2007. He's in here now. He's working on it. He came in with Liev Schreiber. You know, everyone knows him as Ray Donovan. And he's having to turn around. We start with our mobility in the beginning of the workout, and we're getting him jumping again. He's looking at me going, man, I haven't done this in a while. I'm like, just trust the process. Let's start easy. Let's start, you know, 50, 60%. Let's just, I always like to go probably a little easier in the beginning just to make sure that we kind of marinate into it and make sure nothing bad happens. And out of nowhere, he's like, man, my body's feeling good. I'm like, great. Let's just keep it there and let's just keep moving. And we regressed him on weights a few times, and I could tell he didn't want to do it, but I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, we got him safety bar squatting today for the first time. And he's like, wow, this bar feels so weird. Why? And I'm like, no, let's just start lighter, and you're getting into a good position, so I'm happy with it. But I do believe there's a transition period. We should get used to this movement. And it's just about keeping everything positive and having it fun. The other day, he got on a safety bar squat. What did I say to you?
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
I said, get off it. He goes, why? I go, no. I said, you're off it. I said, I don't want you doing it right now. I said, I want you going, let's go to the gobble. Let's go to the, and I had him work on the dumbbell bell squat, and out of nowhere, boom, he started nailing it. I'm like, this is good. We're going to get there. It doesn't make it any better or any worse. So my advice is this: be smart with your training, but have fun. Enjoy it. Because if you're not enjoying it, what the hell's the point, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you should be ashamed about the bench press. The bench press is making a comeback. Did you guys see the guy at the NFL Combine? He had one hand, and then he had a prosthetic clamped to the bar.
I wanted to talk to you about that guy too, because like that's such an interesting. That guy has, talk about against all odds. He doesn't have is it his left hand?
I think it's his left hand, yeah. Shaquem Griffin.
He doesn't have a left hand. What's his name?
Shaquem Griffin.
Shaquem Griffin.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a piece on him in his senior year at Central Florida on ESPN, and I've been kind of clocking this guy. And man, you talk about coming in with a disability, for football, and then making a name. He stole the combine, right?
He's playing at an elite
linebacker.
Linebacker ran a 4.4.
Yeah, 4.38. I think he ran 4.38. Yeah,
4.38. And then how many
as a linebacker?
Linebacker, yeah. Yeah, he's like
what's the fastest linebacker you've ever heard of?
That's the fastest time.
I have to say, I've never even heard someone being that fast.
Yeah. Yeah, so
and then how many 225 did he do?
He did 20
with a prosthetic hand.
More than I do. At my peak, I did 19. That's more than at my peak. At the most when I tried, I did 19. So he's with
two hands.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You had two hands.
So where's he going to go? I mean,
his brother plays for the Seahawks, so like everybody's looking at him seriously now. And this guy has interceptions. He makes tackles, and
forces fumbles.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. I mean, we can't say the word disability anymore. I apologize. We have they're using a more politically correct terminology now. It's not disability. Right. It's
differently abled.
Yeah, differently abled. That's exactly what it is. So he's differently abled. Can he compete at that level?
I mean,
can he compete at that level?
Yeah, he's showing that he can. Just slightly underneath. So I think the guy's fast.
Yeah, special teams. Can you imagine him coming down on punt coverage?
Yeah.
Crushing dudes, lighting them up. I mean,
I want to see him get the opportunity for the simple fact that, if he can succeed, if they can give, honestly, a team should give him a shot.
Yeah.
If he can succeed at that level, he has changed the world.
It's inspiring.
He has changed the way people will think. You have every kid now who is born differently abled. They're going to think a little bit differently. They're going to have his poster. They're going to have his poster up on the wall, and that's a beautiful. I pray to God.
Kind of like I have your poster on my wall. Go out and buy Muscle Fitness and pull out the poster of Don and put it on your wall.
No, your boy over here. Thank you. So what's
I think you guys have to do a 225-pound bench off. To honor Shaquem Griffin, right?
All right,
that's your next social media.
We should give it we should keep on this plane for a little bit.
Great idea.
All right, and that's a great Drew idea. and I will run it.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's going to crush me, but it's going to be
no. His bench is as strong as me. No, his bench for him and I are doing the same weight on the bench. There's no
awesome.
way.
Awesome.
Yeah,
and we're also doing the same weight on deadlifts too. You should see. We're doing the same.
That we're not doing.
Well, if you add in Drew's body weight, he's probably doing the same amount.
You know what? Yeah, that would actually be a lot of fun.
That's a good idea.
Stay tuned. Maybe Derek. Maybe we'll do it when you're out here.
Do it live. Yeah, I'll be the guy counting.
Out here anyway. We got to get you out here soon. When are you going to be out here?
I don't know. It just sort of something comes up, and who knows, right? We'll see. But I'll be out there soon. I'll work out with you guys. You can crush me. I'd be happy if I can get 6 reps at 225.
So good. I don't even know what I can get. So my question for you now is what's next? I mean, what are you looking to do? I mean, you just came off this great part, and you're moving on to other great things. Are you just out there kind of interviewing, casting?
Yeah, well, the season comes to an end. We stopped shooting in 3 weeks, I think, and then it's a hiatus time. So it's always, every actor loves to fill your hiatus time with interesting projects. So there's definitely some irons in the fire. So we'll see what happens.
We're definitely, Drew and I have been saying that after all this training, we're going to go to this pizza place in Brooklyn with our buddy Matty Abdu, who's the executive chef and partner of Pig Beach and Pig Bleecker, probably our favorite restaurants in the New York City, Brooklyn area. But Matty said that this place, Lucali's, got incredible pizza. So we were planning on going there, doing a little cheat, having some drink, having some laughs. Derek, you may have to take a trip out for that. That's very easy to justify, isn't it?
I saw the whole pizza interview with Drew, and he's like, I don't do fruit on pizza. I don't do cold pizza. I'm like, whoa, okay.
I don't do fruit on pizza. That's a little heavy.
On, people.
I mean, unless I'm going in. You know what? I went to this place called Emmy Squared. Have you heard of it?
Oh yeah, are you kidding?
Brooklyn.
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
That place is legit.
It's great. And pepperoni supreme. And
I did have fruit on pizza there, but they brought out all they're like smaller pizzas. It was a fruit on pizza. It was something. It was like pineapple. It was something that seemed ridiculous. And my guy's like, we ordered 8 pizzas for the table.
Yeah, they were kind of small.
So he's like, try one, and I tried it, and I was like, that's good.
All right.
Yeah, he told me, he's like, no way, I'm not doing it.
Give me that pepperoni.
I still haven't figured out what Canadian bacon is.
Detroit, yeah, it's Detroit style pizza.
I didn't even know Detroit had a style of pizza, but pretty good, man. Pretty good.
I haven't had.
Now I'm hungry.
Now, it's funny. Like I've been to Chicago a bunch, and I'm actually going this summer to speak. And I really want to find a good Chicago style pizza spot. Like I want to go, but I'm not going to go alone. Like I think Tiago might be coming out there with me, so I might go.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm a big Chicago pizza fan, but it's become like everything else. You got the trendy touristy ones, but then you got the ones that the locals like. So I'm going in April. I'll get the skinny and let you know.
Yeah, let me know. I was watching. I think it was I was either watching Man vs. Food. Remember that show?
Oh yeah.
Which I love the food channel. It's probably my favorite channel. And it wasn't a Bourdain. It might have been a Bourdain. I don't remember, but they were kind of surfing Chicago a little bit, and they went to this Chicago style spot that was actually outside of like the city, and it just was like this crazy. You almost couldn't even eat it with your hands. You had to I like eating pizza with my hands, but this just looks so different.
Such a different experience, man.
We went to in Detroit. We went to a burger place. Benicio and I went to this burger place, and it was called Miller's. I think it was just called Miller's Bar or something like that. And they had the best burgers. So we go in there, we sit down, and the woman that came up to us, everybody serving there was in their 60s.
Oh, I love it.
Comes up to us, and we go, yeah, can we get a menu? She's like, we got burgers or we got cheeseburgers. What do you want?
Yeah.
No freaking menu. And part of the reason that those old spots are so good is because I believe it. They have these grills that have been there forever, and so it's like it's seasoned itself over the years. So it's just special. Yeah, that's why I never wash my popcorn. I got a whirly pop. You got the whirly pop? I got the whirly pop. It's a popcorn pan that spins and it keeps it, so you don't have to shake it.
Yeah.
But I never wash it because it's just got this coating of like.
Wait, I just heard about someone doing. Again, I'm watching like one of the food channel. It might have been Guy Fieri. It was Guy Fieri's show, and they were cooking. They had this bin of like fat, like grease, and they've been using that grease, the same grease they've been using for like 70 years.
Well, I don't know about that.
It's disgusting.
I'm just saying, I don't want
but there's a way. I forgot. Trust me, everyone hears this. I'm not lying. But they use the same grease, and they actually like deep fry the burgers in this grease. And I'm like, that sounds like the most disgusting thing ever. But people are like, it's the greatest tasting thing ever. I do like you want to know what I do like? You want to talk about fried food? I like fried Oreos.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Fried Oreos.
I didn't understand it.
I didn't understand it. Yeah.
And then it was like, oh wait a minute, or a fried Mars bar.
Never had that. Really?
Yeah.
You guys got to work out again.
I used to, when I'd be getting ready for like something like like this cover shoot that I just did, I would watch the Food Channel.
Really? As like,
I'd just be like, I like to mentally challenge myself and do specific things. So I'd watch there, and the one show that would really get me to freak out a little bit was that show Carnival Eats.
I don't know. Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah, so they basically, it's like the best carnival food in the country. So this guy travels around to different carnivals, and they go to like well-known foods that like has been like epic stuff. And it's like, I mean, some of the stuff you look at is like, this is disgusting. I would never enjoy it. And then if you actually ever try it, so I've tried a couple. They're actually pretty good.
God, that's all I can think about now. I'm awful. My wife calls me an advertiser's dream because I'll see something on TV, like on a show, Law and Order, they're eating a piece of pizza. I'm like, I have to have pizza right now. Right now, I can't think of anything else. I had thought about a burger the other day, and I couldn't rest until
best hamburger in the city.
I don't know, but I can't say that definitively. But I can tell you, I was at Madison Square Garden, and they had what's it called? There's a burger. No, because now they're all shishi. They got like Bouchon, or they got but they had a burger that was like almost on an English muffin, and it was caramelized bacon, onions, and on a cheeseburger. It was heavenly.
Pig Bleecker.
Oh,
their white truffle burger at Pig Bleecker. It's a specific. It almost looks like this English muffin bun. And they literally, when white truffles were in season, they dumped white truffles on it. And
this podcast going the wrong direction, guys.
And I was going to say, quick change to something.
The point is this: you can have your cake and eat it too.
Yes.
That's the point. Like,
I just want to tell Drew, like, when you came out of the swamp, you know what it reminded me of? Schwarzenegger in the first Terminator when he time traveled and he had no clothes on.
I'll take it. You're my new favorite person. For the record, there is a Schwarzenegger connection to my character. So before I was Grundy, I was Butch. And at the end of season 2, Butch has this Gatling gun that he shoots, and he explodes his bus. That Gatling gun was used in two other times in film. Can you guess what they might be?
Predator?
I got it.
Yep.
He did it in Commando?
No.
Predator? No?
Predator?
Yeah.
Predator. Okay,
Predator, that's one. And then the other one is Terminator 2.
Was that with Jesse?
Oh, yeah.
With the Gatling gun?
Yeah.
Get to the chopper. Yeah, get to the chopper. Yeah.
I don't got time to bleed. That was a good cast. The only I'm going to say this, but the only thing I was disappointed was they had like one or two really thin guys in there.
Oh, really?
More like the dorky guy. No, I'm thinking of Predator.
Predator.
And they should have had like, I don't know, bring in like Dolph Lundgren and like Stallone or something like that. Bring in like Dolph Lundgren and Stallone.
Well, I got to tell you could not be thin. That Gatling gun weighed 80 pounds. The gun weighed 80 pounds, and then it was 20 pounds with the ammo pack. So I had 100 pounds that I'm sitting there carrying, and you shoot. You cannot actually shoot that gun. Like if you had real bullets, it would kill you. So it's only you can only shoot blanks. This is a totally Hollywood thing. They're meant to be mounted on helicopters and Humvees. So this is a Hollywood thing. But it was a big deal because I'm carrying that thing, and then there's this little motor there. He's like, "Don't get that near your, you know what, because you will never have kids again." And so I'm thinking about all this stuff, and he's like, trying to get it good. And then they're like, "Okay, now run away." I'm like, "How do you run away with a 100-pound gun?" I'm running away. It's the most unattractive thing you've ever seen.
You got to reshoot that, and with the gun, and at the end you go, "I ain't got time to eat," instead of "I ain't got time to bleed."
The only person who could shoot bullets faster is Benicio.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That was a classic scene.
We're having fun here.
This was an epic episode. I mean, we got nothing really fit.
Exercise, food.
Especially because the first 10 minutes I didn't realize we were actually shooting. I could have really given away state secrets there.
Well, we did. This was a great episode.
It was fun, man.
It was fun.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Drew.
And I'll talk to you Thursday.
Yeah. Sounds good, guys. Have a good workout this week.
All right, brother. Take care.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.